Ever wonder how developers keep track of their code changes and collaborate seamlessly? Well, it all starts with Git, one of the most powerful tools in the developer's toolkit. Hey everyone, I'm Jian, and today I'm gonna take you on a quick tour of Git version control. If you are new to Git or just want to brush up on the basics, you are in the right place. So here is what we are covering in this video today. After a brief introduction to Git version control, we will dive into how to commit changes in our local repository. Then I'll show you how to push those changes to a remote repository on GitHub. Finally, I'll give you a sneak peek into GitHub Actions, an awesome feature that automates your workflows. And I'll even demonstrate it in Actions. So let's jump right in and get started. So as we know, Git is a distributed version control system, which means it tracks changes in your code over time and allows multiple people to collaborate on the same project without stepping on each other's toes. Whether you are working solo or as part of a team, Git is essential for managing code changes efficiently. And here is how Git flow works in general. Mainly, Git has three working areas. The current local directory, it's nothing but a folder, and staging area. This is where we track any changes we made locally before we commit those changes to the repository. Okay, now let's get our hands dirty with some Git commands locally first, and then I'll show you how to push those changes to the remote repository on GitHub. Here is an HTML file I have created for this demonstration, and I'm going to use this file to track and commit into the repository. So let me go to this location first. If I do ls-al, we can see there is an index.html file. So first thing first, let me initiate the local repository in my current location with git init command. So I'm going to use the current location, so I indicate the dot. So it has initialized the empty repository now. That's it. So how do we confirm the git is created? So if we do ls-al again, we can see the git directory has been created in here. That means our current location is initiated as a repository. Another way, we can instantly say that it is our repository because we can see the branch name at the end of the command prompt. That can be that branch name can be master or main. Let me better, I think I'll change it to the main. This way I have renamed this my current branch as a main. And let me run git status because I'll be using this command every time to show you what is the changes in git. As of now, we can see there is one untracked file. This is in our local folder, but it is not being tracked by git. The first step in any git workflow is to track your changes using add and commit commands. So let me do git add and index.html. If I do git status again, you can see this changes is now tracked and it is to be committed. So we can see the green color now. So let me commit the changes with git commit -m for the message. We can write some, it is always good practice to write some meaningful uh, message, so that anybody you can, or later time when you check the history, you will understand why did you make these changes, right? So first commit, I'll give it adding source code, source file. Okay, again let me run git status. Now the working tree is clean. That means it is now committed to the local repository. There we go. Our changes are now committed. But the job is not done yet. We need to share these changes with others, right? And for that, we push them to a remote repository. This is where GitHub comes in the picture. So far, we have created a folder and we track those local contents and we committed those content into the local repository. Now let's push those local repository changes or file to the remote side in the GitHub. So for that, so let me go to the GitHub and create a GitHub repository by clicking on this plus sign, new repository, and give a repository name. Let's say my blog. If it is available, yes, the name must be available. It is available. My test repo. Let me go with the private for now and create repository. Now we have created our GitHub repository as well, and it will show you the basics after creating a repository, how to go with it. We have already created a local repository, so I'm not going to do this part. I'm gonna push my existing repository from the command line, which we just created locally. By using this command, we can push our local repository into the GitHub. So I'm gonna copy this repository path, remote repository path, and here I'm gonna do, let me clear that out, and I'm gonna run the same command it shows here, git remote add. I'll give a origin name as a standard name, but we can give any name because I'm just indicating this remote repository as a origin with the name of origin. It can be anything now. And let's push those changes to GitHub. In origin, in a main branch. So I was able to push it, all the changes directly, but if you are doing it for the first time, you will need to generate the token, which is for the security purpose. I have already connected my GitHub into this Git, so it didn't ask me, but you will need to authenticate if you are doing it for the first time. So you can check that, how to authenticate GitHub repository locally. Now let me show you. It is now pushed into my remote repository. Yeah, we can see index.html is being pushed now. We can see all the same contents here. That's cool. There we go. Now we have now pushed our all the local changes to the remote side. This is where your code is stored online so that you and your team or anybody who wants to collaborate can access it from anywhere. Simple as that. Now your changes are safely stored in the cloud and accessible to anyone who needs them. Also, let me show you how to host your site with the GitHub pages. So to do that, you can go to settings and pages. Ah, to host your site to with the GitHub pages, first you will need to make your repository as a public, because do you remember we created this repository as a private. So let me go to settings, and then it is currently private, so let me change the visibility as public. Yes, I want to make it public. Now go to pages. I want to host this from which branch? From main branch in the root folder. Save it. Then just refresh the page by going to the GitHub Actions, and in a moment we will see here our link is being generated by Git. If you go to the actions, we can see what is happening. It is building and doing the deployment things here. We can see the backend process as well, what it is doing. There we go, job is complete. Now if we go to settings again and check the pages, here we are. This is our link to our site. Just copy the link. Let me open the Cognito mode and paste it. This is our site. It is now deployed from the GitHub pages.